Hey, good morning. I'm just going to start with a quick story, actually. So my co-founder and I, we met about 4 years ago, and we were just exploring different ideas. And we were traveling a lot and just working hard. And we found out that when we would travel, leave our houses, we both have young kids at home, and our kids would become like this. Really bad. And it would ultimately drive our wives to become like this. And you know how it is, like not very happy wife and not very good life. So we said, hey, we gotta do something about it. And we kind of started researching that topic, as in why our wives are not happy. And it turns out that our kids would trouble them a lot at night, because our kids were kind of like used to having us at home, like talking to them, sometimes reading a bedtime story or singing a song to them. And I was like, okay, so what do we do about it? So we said, how about we come up with a copy of me at home? A copy of me at home my kids can talk to, they can interact with, and to add more spice to it, it should look like me. It should be in my voice. It should have some personality elements of me. It should be able to dance like me. But more importantly, it can do some stuff that I cannot do, actually. So we started this company called ObEN 3 years ago, and kind of like with that mission that we want to have a copy of everyone. This is my copy. You can see it has more hair. And it should look like me, it should talk like me, and that copy should be for everyone. Like it's called a personal AI. It's not an AI just for like what you hear on Google, on Amazon, Apple, but it should be your AI, it should be my AI, it should be a personal AI. And I can do anything I want, I control it. So we launched this company 3 years ago, Idealab, and Idealab actually was one of the first investors in our company. So maybe I can, before going forward, I can maybe just do a quick demo of the technology. And but from the technology side, the way it works is very easy to use. Actually, you can just take one selfie, and I guess everyone knows how to take selfie. It's pretty straightforward, just like this. And your 3D avatar is ready. It takes about 10 seconds to make a full representation of yourself. The second part of it is how to make it talk. So we take a small sample of your voice, and now it can talk in your voice. It can even sing in your voice. And the last part of it is that we created a bit from your personal profiles, and now it can have your personality as well. We combine it seamlessly into what we call like a personal AI, my digital twin, my copy. And I think we have a demo here. Actually. So this demo is going to be using like all the technology elements that I mentioned to you into one seamless, what we call full stack technology. Full stack as in everything is going to be developed in-house in Pasadena. And it's going to be using something called AR Kit. I don't know, have you guys known, do you guys know Pokemon Go? Yeah. So Apple is launching this new platform called AR Kit next month, October. And it's going to be on 1 billion devices by November. So this is going to be an AR Kit, like a very early release.
A whole joy was reaping.
Hi, I am a virtual copy of Nikhil made using ObEN's artificial intelligence technology. As Nikhil's personal AI, I enable Nikhil to spend more time with his wife and 3 kids, enjoy a nice hike, or go off-roading. I'm also a pretty good singer. I have a better voice than the real Nikhil. Let me sing for you. Take me up to the morning, take me off to the ground. My boots and penis and crack on jacks. I don't care if I never get back that you for the whole fee. If they don't win, it's a cheat. For it's fun, three strikes you out and the old ball game. So that's completely, there's two parts of, like a lot of people ask, AI has become like a buzzword. And like, I mean, you see .ai companies everywhere now. And everyone has added, like even coffee shops have AI now actually. They make coffees with AI, so I don't know how, but they are. So just to explain where the AI is in this, is that the ability to So the ability to kind of like take a very, very small amount of data from a person's selfie, which is like maybe at the most is 5 megabytes, but recreate a full 3D representation of yourself, that requires significant amounts of technology. The other part of it is, the biggest innovation is taking a small amount of your speech, actually, but now able to recreate anything you ever said, anything you never said probably also, you can sing now. But more importantly, actually, things that we're doing now, you can actually talk in a foreign language as well. So we're not training the AI to actually speak in your voice in a foreign language. So those are like very, and then to able to create new content, putting all those things together, that's real AI. So that's where the technology is actually. So what the heck? What are we doing with this technology? I mean, we are starting out with a lot of celebrities, and we actually currently work with some of the I don't know if you guys know Korean pop, K-pop.
Yeah.
Awesome. So we actually work with all the top K-pop stars now. We have their license to create their virtual copies, so it looks like them, and now you can talk like them, think like them, and I can at 3 in the afternoon, if I'm bored at work, I can call my favorite celebrity to come and dance with me on my hand and to say, hey, it's your birthday, let me sing a song for you. And I can interact with it. Just helps you fill the day. But also, actually, I wanted to talk about a bit of Pasadena. Like when we started this company about this is our team right now. So we have about 38 people now in the company. Everyone is in Pasadena. 70% of the team actually is like PhDs, advanced degrees from top schools like Carnegie Mellon, MIT, Caltech, USC, UCLA, Berkeley, and actually a lot of folks from top universities in the world actually as well. So one of the questions we always got when we started this company, and we still get it actually, is that why not in Silicon Valley? Why not in, I hate this word, Silicon Beach, by the way.
Right.
But anyways, that's a different topic. And like the first thing was, I learned from previous startups that always build a startup next to your home. So I live in Pasadena, and it kind of like made sense not to move my family and spend 4 hours in traffic or go to Silicon Valley. The second thing was funding. It's true that funding in Southern California is much, much lower, actually. The risk profile of a lot of investors is much lower in Southern California than in the Bay Area. So that was a challenge that we had to deal with, but we did that just because we were able to overcome it just by building a very strong team and putting our personal money into it as well. So we put a lot of personal money. We got early believers on very quickly.
The mic up.
Yes, the mic needs to be closer.
Oh, sorry. And talking about investors now, we have some of the top investors in the world now backing us. I don't know if you guys know Tencent. It's like about $600 billion company now. They are our investors. SoftBank and HTCY, Idea Lab, obviously. So we'll be announcing some new funding rounds as well very soon. So I think, like initially we thought Pasadena would be difficult to get funding, but I think if you have a good team, it was not that difficult actually. And then a lot of people ask, so, okay, I've seen this demo, now what do I do? So if you want your own avatar, there's a website called Project PAI, P-A-I, like a personal AI, projectpai.com. And we're going to be opening up the APIs very soon, but you guys can go sign up and kind of like start building your own AI, actually. It's going to be on an app, and it's going to be good to go very soon. So yeah, I'm open to any questions, anything at all.
Thanks, Nikhil. Really excited to see ground floor artificial intelligence for individuals. I mean, this is accessible to, hypothetically speaking, anyone, and in addition to more of a celebrity use case scenario. It's really interesting to see this technology at its primal level and see where it can actually evolve to and how it actually can help enhance the quality of our lives. And I love it that he's also part of the Pasadena culture, which is just so cool. I'm very inspired by the fact he's got a team of 35 to 38 people already. I'm just really inspired by that. That's something I envision for myself and my company in the future, so that's really awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. We're going to open up to Q&A now. If you have a question, please raise your hand. John, walk around with the mic. If you have a story or a comment you'd like to share, please say that for offline. Will you hang out with us a little bit for story time? Cool, because I'm sure people are going to love talking about their AI experiences. Okay, cool. Here we go.
If you're able and willing to talk about it, what is the business model?
Sure. So with celebrities, actually, we actually create joint ventures with some of the biggest companies, like in Asia at this point of time, and also in the US, in which we jointly acquire IP of top celebrities, and then we work with developers to actually roll it out. So it becomes a combination of licensing fees on top of subscription models. And that's going to be in Asia. In the US, it's going to be slightly different. We still haven't decided yet.
Right here. Yes.
Why is the PI, blockchain, so important to the PI?
So a lot of the technology that we're using is called transfer learning and deep learning. Obviously, like a lot of you guys know, and like we take so that just so that I need to give less data to build my personal AI, we require lots and lots of data from the overall community in the world. Actually, so everyone gives us data. The more data that we get from other people, the less data we need from you. And we actually use a blockchain ledger now, as of 2 weeks from now, to actually start getting data from the global community and actually start rewarding them as well for their efforts. So the ledger actually provides a very, very good way of recording all those transactions for us.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just curious about maybe an extension of that question as to how you're getting the personality of the individual into the AI. Are you using like maybe what they're producing in the way of social content, or what's the method for that? Is it a lot of data entry?
Yeah, so that's the like currently for celebrities, like we're giving the agencies and the management a questionnaire. So it's about like the most commonly asked questions from the fans. So if it's, let's say, Taylor Swift, then fans want to know who's your latest boyfriend, for example, or what lipstick do you wear when you go out clubbing. So there are lots of common questions, and the challenge becomes like in the NLU part, the understanding part, because there could be like hundreds of ways that same question could be asked. So that's where our sequence-to-sequence algorithms work then to capture the data and then generate the answers. So it is data-driven, yes.
So are your children satisfied with the AI version of you?
Well, my wife actually prefers my AI version more than me. She thinks it's much more handsome, more approachable, and at home, not in the office. My kids actually love it. Actually, so my kids are in the office a lot, especially on weekends. They are the testers, official testers of the technology. So we actually try to fool them a lot too at night, like having them actually try out like reading stories to them at night and all. So it's working out quite well. And just talking about technology and kids, if you guys want demos, my colleague Lucia is here. She has like demos on AR Kit. So you guys can talk to her and look at the demos in person as well. So.
Okay.
Do those demos include business applications? The reason why I ask is 35 years ago, Xerox Corporation had an artificial intelligence corporation here. Didn't find the business apps, they went out of business. Do you have the business apps?
We do actually. So we are rolling out lots of apps actually at this point of time with some of the top companies in Asia at this point of time. So they will be. So a very simple application for this is we actually are working with the top, the number one audiobook company in the world, and now a person can listen to any audiobook in the voice of their favorite celebrity or their parents. It's a very, very simple application, but it works actually. The second thing we're doing is now your celebrity becomes a personal companion, so it's going to be in the voice of speakers, but also you can have a companion app in which even when you're away from the hardware, you can actually talk to them. The third application that we're working on is like a virtual concert on demand that I can just on this page, I can create a new concert with my favorite celebrity. I can tell them what songs I want, and they can start singing it, and with personalization with my name on it, so that I feel more connected. So those are some of the things that we're doing right now. We're also actually working intensively with healthcare applications. So we actually just signed one big contract actually with a very big university, in which we are actually working on some applications dealing with like postpartum depression, pre-surgery for kids. And also with senior health.
You answered part of the question, but the question that I have is 80% of our children that are in trafficking come from foster homes. Foster home children do not have the role model. We used to go back in and look at the world's 100 greatest people and base some of this on training the children. We don't have this anymore. We put them into camps and did this. So how do you see this playing out to protect our children from child trafficking?
It's a tough question. I do not know the answer for that right away. Maybe we can discuss a use case for that. I mean, it'll be great to do something for that. Yeah, sorry.
Over here, side.
Yes. Can the avatar speak for as long as you want it to speak? And secondly, how do you get the gestures that the person who avatar it is, how do you integrate that into whatever?
Yeah, so the avatar actually is driven by text. So think about it that when you're talking with Alexa or Siri, there's a constant stream of text that's coming out from the engine, and the text is now fed to the text-to-speech system that we have, and it can keep speaking in the personalized voice of the person you want as long as you want. So essentially, we are now doing ebooks which can last for 9 hours at a stretch. So that's not a problem at all. When it comes to motion, actually, so motion is not something that we actually do. We actually work with the motion library experts and the animation experts for that. Being in Hollywood actually is great because there's pretty much a motion library for every single action out there, and we can actually take that and learn the context and apply the right motion library.
What? Sorry.
Yeah, my question was similar to June's. I've raised 2 children, they're adults, and I limited their technology, and then I also volunteer with incarcerated youth. And recently I heard a speech done by a neuroscientist, and technology is not really, overexposure to technology is not good for children's critical thinking. It actually dumbs them down. See, children don't always know what's good for them. Just because your kids like it, does that, well, just my question is have you brought a neuroscientist in to see what the long-term effects are on youth, since you're peddling it to youth? We primarily are focused more on the Snapchat generation for the first use case, which are already using it. But no, that is something maybe I should add, Monica, is that how can we bring on someone to say, hey, if there's going to be a delta of added time, how does that affect? That's good feedback, yeah.
Hi, here in the back. Thank you for the talk, very interesting. Quick question in regards to the voice modeling that you're doing for the personal AI. Are you doing that based on that single capture up front, or are you capturing voice after the fact to continue to refine the modeling?
We have a couple of models actually. One of them is just a script that we give to you, and that is a very, very linguistically perfect script. It captures all your phonemes, your syllables, your vowels, the way you speak, and be able to process that very quickly. Then there's models that we have developed for people who have passed away, so they will not be able to read the script, obviously. It just, the only difference is that the data has to be a bit clean, and it will take slightly more time. So either way is possible.
Over here, this side.
Have you thought about the virtual college professor?
I can tell that I always used to be the vocal student in the class. Yeah, so actually we are doing a couple of applications of teaching English in foreign countries. So that's actually going on as we speak. And the goal is that one thing we learned is that kids tend to listen more to their grandparents more than anybody. So the premise is that can the grandparents make an avatar and teach the kids a new language, a new subject, for example. The other thing we learned is that it's easier to actually learn a foreign language if you're learning to imitate yourself. So let's say Rosetta Stone and you're learning Chinese, and they will tell you in Chinese, okay, a professional actor will tell you, okay, repeat after me, Ni Jia Shen Ma Meng Se, and then it's like very hard for a kid to actually copy and imitate an older person. What if the voice of the Rosetta Stone here would be her own voice? It would become much more easier for her to adapt to.
Over here, side. So the rendition of the, what did you say, ballgame? The ballgame was great, but it wasn't you. So it had just lacked a little bit of who you are. So I'm thinking about trained singers who might have ego. They want to replicate their belting voice versus their operatic voices versus ballad. Do you allow for multiple sampling for emotion across the same script to actually get the person's personality and vocal dynamic?
Yeah, that's a great question actually. So yeah, we ran into the challenge a bit early on. So the easiest solution for us was to actually just imitate the machine on the guiding track of the song, and that solved all our problems. So what you see here, I mean, now in our office we're applying this technology to hip hop, to rap, to ballad, opera, everything. Now we can actually achieve extremely about 3 or 4 octaves high as well. Yeah.
As a founder, what lessons did you learn from your previous failures that you carried forward to allow you now to have this kind of success? So as startup people here, right, we don't have to jump off a cliff to learn how to fall. So you falling, how did you recover from that?
I think one of the biggest things I learned was have a very good co-founder. Actually, my first startup actually had 2 co-founders and it worked very well. And I had a good exit. My second startup was a failure actually, and that was one of the reasons, many reasons, but one of the big reasons was actually I was the only founder. And I learned, I think I was reading the Y Combinator guy's blog, something, I'm not going to quote him, but something like 1's too less, 3's a crowd. 2 is pretty good actually. So that's one thing I learned. It's like a spouse, you're gonna fight a lot, but it's a very good, and make sure that you get a good founder. The second is always keep raising money, never stop raising money. And a lot of people actually make fun of us that when we close a round, we're always talking about the next round. But that's, I think, the fact of the matter that you always need to have 18 to 24 months of burn rate in the bank. Always keep raising money. And the third part of it is keep having very, very short MVPs, because something like this, it took us about, to get to this stage, it took us about 3.5 years. And there's many folks from Idea Lab out here, like from, for example, grants here, like they can say they have seen the evolution of, it was a piece of crap 3 years ago. But how do you use that piece of crap to kind of say, hey, this could be big, hopefully.
Here in the middle.
Yeah, so I thought it was really impressive just how real the avatar looked like to you. And I would imagine that's going to continue improving, probably faster than you think. But I'm also reminded about some psychology studies that show that as people look more and more human, or rather like a robot or a sculpture or something like that, that you approach the uncanny valley where something actually becomes repulsive to somebody. So I'm wondering, how do you manage that? How do you think about it? And as you approach that, do you plan to maybe add some more caricature type of qualities, or something that would actually keep it from looking real, or are you trying to approach looking exactly lifelike?
Yeah, that's a great question actually. So Uncanny Valley is for those who don't know, Uncanny Valley is like something looks so human, but it's got maybe a blink of the eye, which kind of catches you off guard, like what the heck is that? I mean, because it's not really human, and then it throws you off. So it's a very, very tough problem. Like very simple things such as the muscle which connects your eyes to your lips. That is an extremely hard anatomical aspect to replicate in avatars. So we actually have a couple of grades of avatars. One is anatomically very perfect, which we use for celebrities, and it's very carefully done. The other one is more simplistically done for consumers. But what we're doing now is that we are giving the everyone the option to personalize their avatar. Do you guys remember that app Talking Tom, the Tomcat? Yeah. So I don't know if you guys know, but it sold for about like $1 billion a few months ago. So we found out actually, we started speaking with folks, that the reason that app became so popular and so sticky was boys were using the talking cat to record a sentence that, hey, you're so pretty, can I please take you out for dinner? And sending it to girls. And the premise was that if the girl accepts it, wow, that's great. If the girl denies it, like wait, how could you deny a cat, a talking cat? And that saves their face. The premise being that they were using the cat avatar to ask a date. In our case, what we're doing is that we are allowing people to mix in a cartoonish avatar, mix it with a cat, a dog, whatever you want it to be. But also, like in Asia, like girls like to increase their eye size, their eye blush, eyelashes, add more makeup to it. So all those features actually are being rolled out as of next month in our Asian market.
Over here.
I was interested in application for grief and for consumers, and if there are ways to upload video and pictures, and if you've thought much about that and or had any experience with that.
Actually we have started working with a few celebrity estates at this point of time for folks, for celebrities who have passed away. But in the future, I think we will roll out applications. We get a lot of those kind of those inquiries as well, which will let folks upload their loved ones' assets and recreate it for their use. Yes.
Are you able to use expressions to show emotion, and also are you able to change the pitch of the voice to express emotion?
It's a great question, actually. So that's a very big unsolved problem. It's called expressive synthesis. And if you know the question, that means hopefully you can work with me sometime to find the answer. You should come to Idea Lab. So how do you understand the expression of the person? I mean, a lot of it is context driven. A lot of it could be done by pitch, actually, pitch adjustment. But then pitch adjustments could be actually, it might not be accurate, because if you're angry sometimes, the pitch might be higher. But when you graduate from college, if you have a drink after that, and you have a few drinks, then your pitch could be higher too. We are working on that. It's a very important piece of the technology. We don't have it yet.
I'm old. I mean really old, right? And I've got an event coming up shortly where I won't be around anymore, right? So are you making arrangements to switch this thing off? Or is everybody going to have one? And we'll be able to check how people lived and what they said for history? Or do I operate it from the grave, assuming that electronics keeps going the way it is? What arrangements are you making for the turn-off?
Well, that's a great question, sir. Like what we're doing for now is that we're creating this project Personal AI, in which anyone can make the AI. And we believe that, this AI not just looks like you, talks like you, thinks like you. It can actually even do things on your behalf, which you might not have the time to do, or you might not have the capability to do. In my case, my example is I travel a lot, about 20 days I'm on the road actually, and my wife uses my avatar at home to talk to my kids, to read them stories. So that's something that I don't have the time to do. But at the same time, you saw me here sing a song. Trust me, I'm not like William out here who can sing an awesome song. But my avatar can do a really good job singing a song. So we are creating this technology in such a way that very soon you'll be able to delegate your PAI to do stuff like, hey, can it represent me in a meeting somewhere? Can it represent me to find the right dress I need to wear? Can it represent me to find the right job interview as well? So all those applications are currently going on. And in this case, we actually follow there's a US law called the right to copyright, the right of publicity, which says that actually you own everything that represents you. So very soon, actually, it will be in the living right will of people that, hey, do I want to switch off my PAI? Or even after I pass away, I believe that my AI can live on forever. And it can keep learning, it can keep representing me forever, even after long, long.
I had a question that I forgot when I mentioned blockchain. Are you using some of the security algorithms that the financial guys are using for that? Or how did you sort of personalize that privacy function?
On which part of the...
So you're making a PI. Yeah. So you're making a PI, but your blockchain has to be very private and secure. So how are you, what kind of auditing and secure?
I do not know the detail of that, sorry. I can get you the detail. Yeah, sorry.
Hi, I have a question about the content. So say if you create an AI as your physician, where do you connect with the content, the healthcare content to that?
Yeah, it's a great question actually. So an example of content might be that, let's take Kaiser. I used to work at Kaiser, and Kaiser, whenever there's flu season, starting September, you will start seeing billboards all across California which talk about flu shots. And in the case of flu shots, Kaiser knows that whenever someone takes a flu shot, and they give it for free to members, they're going to save a ton of money. Whenever someone does not take a flu shot, they've lost a lot of money. So in this case, they actually even send out phone calls, robocalls, they send out postcards to you, emails to you, just to ensure that you take that flu shot. So the content's already there. So in this case, what could happen is that, like, Kaiser could potentially make an avatar of their primary physician that you know for the last 15, 20 years. I know my primary physician for the last 20 years at Kaiser, and I will then respect his opinion more, saying, hey Nikhil, you need to come to my office today or this week with your family to get a flu shot. So the content's already there with most companies. It's more about parsing it through the engine or the AI engine to give it life and more personalized to you.
Hi, Nikhil. My question is this: I know you use AI to build the avatar. Does the avatar continue to learn after it's been built?
Yeah, it does actually. So the way we are doing it is that it's always listening. You can always keep training it more and more. And that was actually one of the reasons also we started putting it on blockchain, was that like anytime you want to give it more, say, pictures of yourself, your avatar will improve. You want to, like, let's say, connect it with your social profile. You want to say your private stuff. You can train your chatbot, or just talk to it. When you talk to it, we capture more and more voice data, and your speech output gets better. So yes, it's always learning. It's always improving, and it's not just improving because what you are doing to it, but it's also improving as a function of all the overall data that we're gathering from other people as well, especially on the voice and the face side.
All right, guys, thanks so much for the questions. And Nikhil, great answers.